Really loud. We got our man, Dwayne Lindo, in the building. Dwayne, how are you?
I got to be next to the Patriots fan?
Yeah,
really?
you do. Yes.
Really? Is that how it's going to work tonight?
Yep, that's what happens.
Okay, we'll see how this works out.
And last but not least, the guy still trying to figure out our mics over here, the great L. Bushman. How are you?
I'm not trying to figure them out. I'm trying to pull your levels down so you're not so loud.
Oh, well, I'm naturally loud, so that's what's going to happen. Listen, we do this every Sunday here at Old School. Thank y'all for chiming out. So it is Conference Championship Sunday. We are down to the Final Four. I want to work in reverse since I see we have a few Patriots fans in the building. But before we get started, he's already thanked and congratulated me on having one of the best seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, the internet sensation of 2017. Give it up for our man Steve sitting out there. Everybody say what's up to Steve. Sitting next to him is our one true fan, Jack. So I want to say thank y'all. They've been hanging out with us every Sunday. All right, so whole nother level. Well, here we go. Frank,
yeah.
It's playoff time, my friend.
It is.
Steelers, Patriots.
Yep.
This game, one of these two teams, whoever wins tonight, will be for the ninth time, playing in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Now,
Pittsburgh is 6-2 and New England is 4-4.
Wow. Roethlisberger's got 2 rings, going for his third.
Yes.
Brady, on the flip side, has 4, going for number 5. The Killer Bees against Brady and Belichick. I'm starting a conversation with you, Frank, and I'm saying, what do you expect from today?
This is a rematch of the 2005 AFC Championship game, and it's funny that these two teams, that this is the first time they've met since 2005 in the playoffs. I mean, because the years that the Steelers have gone, they beat the team that beat New England.
Right.
So, I mean, what I expect is I actually expect a lot of scoring because I was looking at it. New England has the #1 scoring defense in the NFL. They didn't allow a 100-yard rusher the whole season. And actually going into last season, they didn't even allow a 90-yard rusher this year. So the defense is pretty good. And then I look at it, Charlie Whitehurst, Blaine Gabbert.
Okay.
Andy Dalton.
Right.
Matt Moore.
Okay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
True.
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
These are the quarterbacks that New England has faced. Oh, do you know who had the easiest schedule in the NFL this year?
Let me guess.
The New England Patriots?
Yeah, would be correct.
Even with the first 4 games where they went 3-1.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at the team's records that they played. This is going to be Ben Roethlisberger will be the best quarterback that they faced all season because, I mean, going up until now, it was probably Russell Wilson.
Okay.
So, and this will be the first game that they played Bell, Brown, and Ben all in the same game. Landry Jones was at quarterback when they played before.
Right.
They lost by 11, which, look, everybody knows Landry Jones is terrible, and if Ben goes down, that's a wrap.
Okay. Kristen, go ahead, Frank.
No, if you look at it, Antonio Brown needs to come and play this week after all his nonsense. So he better show up. But his last 2 games against Malcolm Butler, he's had over 100 yards receiving. So I expect the same.
That was my question to Kristen was Antonio Brown, the past 4 games that he's played, has had over 100 yards reception. Do you think against that New England defense he can make it 5 today?
I think he can. He is the best receiver in the league. I don't think he's going to have a problem with it. It's the rest of the team that's going to have to we worry about. You said a lot of scoring, Frank. Are you going to score a touchdown today? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
You didn't score one last week. I mean, if you're going to win this game.
They're probably going to need some touchdowns. Look, they were 0-4 in the red zone last week, and that is not good, especially when you're on the 5-yard line and you don't give the ball to Le'Veon Bell, who was basically doing whatever he wanted against Kansas City. That is a little bit concerning, but look, he's going to have over 100 today, so that streak's going to come to an end.
I was looking at the stats this morning, and I was actually shocked to find out that New England has more yards per game than Pittsburgh does. New England beats Pittsburgh in every statistical category: rush yards per game, points per game, total defense, rush defense. Every single category, New England is better. But like you said, they do have an easy schedule. But New England has Tom Brady, who I'm repping the Tom Brady today, you know.
I see that.
Dwayne.
Hopefully he'll get 2 more interceptions this week.
He had 2 all season. He's not going to have 2 more today, and 1 was a tip, you know.
Dwayne, let me ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
With all the weapons that Tom Brady has basically brought to the forefront of this New England offense. You've got a LeGarrette Blount who basically just walked out of Pittsburgh and into New England.
No, they cut him.
Regardless, you let him go.
They found LeGarrette Blount on a
Either
couch.
way, LeGarrette Blount is in New England, and he's blowing up.
Okay, so you've got him. You've got Dion Lewis for your running backs. Now, your wide receiving core is just stacked, whether it be slot or outside. You've got a Chris Hogan. You've got a Amendola. You've got a
Malcolm
Edelman.
Mitchell.
You've got a Malcolm Mitchell. You've got a Martellus Bennett at tight end. How is Pittsburgh's defense, with Shazier and James Harrison and the rest of the crew, how are they going to be able to stop all of these weapons that Brady is putting on the field today?
Look, they're just going to have to just bring it. I mean, Pittsburgh has played fairly good defense throughout the season.
Okay.
New England, they're going to get their points. Tom Brady, Kristen mentioned it. He's going to get his points. The fact that you mentioned all these players that the weapons that you mentioned.
Right.
Malcolm Mitchell.
Right.
Martellus Bennett.
Yep.
I mean, these guys are pretty much going to – I say New England probably scores like 21, 28 points.
In the first half or total?
No, I mean total. But
Okay.
the key is that Big Ben needs to stay healthy. Frank mentioned it. Antonio Brown, he needs to step up. The 3 Bs, Ben, and you have Antonio Brown, and you have Le'Veon Bell. Those guys just need to step up. Last week's game against Kansas City, that 18-16 game, they can't play like that. The same way they played against Kansas City, they can't play like that against New England.
I agree.
Or New England's going to win this game.
No, I agree.
But overall, I mean, I want the Steelers. I mean, I'm on Frank's side here. I want the Steelers to win this game.
But we haven't got the picks yet. We'll get
Well,
there.
okay.
But I have one last question I need to ask the great Al Bushman.
Yes.
So I need for you, sir.
First of all, I need to get Dwayne here a pop filter on his microphone because he keeps accentuating his P's all over the plate.
But, great Al Bushman, let me ask you this question. So now you're looking at 2 historic franchise teams, at least I can say in our generation, have been synonymous not just with championships, but with division winners. And just when we think of the AFC North and the AFC East, the 2 teams we're always thinking about are Pittsburgh and New England. So a matchup that we're wanting to see, to Frank's point, a match that hasn't happened in 11, 12 years, I need for you, looking at just the quarterbacks alone, tell me who you give the edge to.
Is that even a question?
It is.
That's even a question.
It's a legitimate
That's an actual
question.
question you're asking me on
Yes.
this panel right now.
Yes.
Oh, of course, Tom Brady, the golden boy, man.
You're giving Tom Brady the edge over Ben Roethlisberger,
As
and then
we
my
said-
question is to you, why?
As we said throughout the whole season and even in preseason, with the middle finger tour as has it been for Tom Brady because he was suspended the first 4 games for a deflated ball, this is his time to shine, and he always does in the AFC Championships. So there's no question. There shouldn't even be a question about this. Tom Brady is going to go back to the Super Bowl and probably hoist a Lombardi trophy in the face of his esteemed for those who should not be named, the commissioner of the NFL.
Well, let me ask you, I got to ask Mr. Bushman a question here.
Go ahead.
So you're saying to me that do the Steelers have a chance? I guess that's the question. I mean, because I keep hearing over and over again. I've heard all week that New England is, and I agree with a lot of what I'm hearing. New England is a great team. Don't get me wrong. But do they have a weakness?
You know, I think the only weakness would be if they started deflating balls again. But, you know, I'm a big guy in superstitions, and I think Antonio Brown may have kind of put a chink in the armor when he's going on Facebook Live while his coach is, saying, don't get on Facebook, don't get on the U-Face or the YouTube. So, you know, I'm going with Patriots all day only because I want to see that matchup between the Golden Boy and the other Golden Boy, Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, but pump the brakes right there. Everybody is giving this game to Tom Brady. And with all due respect to the 4 of you up there, you have a valid point. But Frank will hit the nail on the head and say to you, look at it like this. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger are all healthy right now in a time when it matters most. And then let's not forget about the wide receiving core that exists that Pittsburgh is known for. You've got an Eli Rogers. You've got a Sammy Coates.
Sammy Coates is not,
You've got
not a factor.
okay, you've got a Darius Hayward-Bay. I mean, I could keep going on
I
here
think
with
Eric's
these.
forgetting about the other being that trifecta. Maybe the fourth guy would be Chris Boswell. So if they were starting to kick field goals like they did last week against Kansas City,
There you go.
Yeah, they might have a chance to win.
So fine, we'll go from the killer bees to the four horsemen. Call it what you want to call it. But the bottom line is everybody is just simply saying because it's Tom Brady, because it's the Patriots, because it's at Gillette Stadium, that they are just going to win this game.
I said
and
that
I have
they-
to say, go ahead.
They have every statistical category. They beat them in. They have the third-ranked rush defense. Le'Veon Bell, last 2 games, has played against the 26th and 30th rush defenses. It's not just Tom Brady. It's the completion of the team. It's Bill Belichick is what it is. Which also, I want to pose a question to you, Eric.
Sure.
I saw this question this morning, and I thought it was interesting. Is Bill Belichick the best coach in any sport ever?
In any sport ever.
I like that question.
You mean the greatest of all time?
Greatest of all, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
I'm going to say no.
All right.
I'm going to say no.
Who do you think?
Honestly, I don't have a greatest of all time when it comes to coaches. I will say, though, if there's a slot, it's going to be that person, whoever that is, and I don't think that person is around or I've really, I'm saying that it's going to be that person and then Bill Belichick.
Well, it
because
was interesting that, who
you're
they
talking
interviewed.
about all sports ever. So you're talking about basketball. You're talking about baseball. You're talking about hockey. I mean, for basketball, I would sit there and say that Greg Popovich is just as good a coach.
Well, let me ask
Bill
this.
Belichick.
I don't know, Eric. I think Phil Jackson's got 11 friends to show off to everybody.
about
Who's the
Mike
greatest
Krzyzewski?
coach of all time?
Well, I wanted to ask Chris
Scotty
a question.
Bowman.
Does this
Rings
include
don't lie.
college?
Yeah, Mike Krzyzewski could be the greatest coach ever,
Yeah,
Okay,
very
'cause
true.
John's favorite.
my
but-
answer would be John Wooden on that
John
one,
Wooden,
but
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let me make sure I got everything correct here as we're discussing this here at Old School. And big shout out to Carl for letting us do it here every Sunday during football season. Great L. Bushman, you have the Patriots winning this game. Give me a score.
I'm going to say it's going to be kind of a middle of the road score. I don't think it's going to. I don't think any of us on this panel think it's going to be a blowout whatsoever. It's going to be a good, tough game between both of these good teams. I'm going to go with 27-24. It's going to come down to a field goal.
27-24. Dwayne, what do you got?
I know, reluctantly, and I do mean reluctantly, I'm going to have to go with New England on this one. Kristen mentioned that literally they're leading in every single category against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is, not to say that Pittsburgh can't win, but New England has the edge in this case. I'm going to have to say New England 27, Pittsburgh 24.
So the same score.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to come down to a field goal? Like my
Same
prediction?
score, I guess.
All right. Kristen, you're wearing Tom Brady, so I assume that's your pick.
I am picking Tom Brady today. Thank you to my friends Kathy and Kayla for the shirt today. I'm going New England 24-17.
24-17. Frank, who do you got in this game? I know. This is a hard thing for you, my brother. I understand.
Oh, no, it's not hard. Look, all those weapons that you mentioned,
Yes.
Chris Hogan, questionable. Martellus Bennett, questionable. They're banged up. They're injured. Malcolm Mitchell, questionable. And look, not having Gronk, who Julian Edelman, he's basically going to be your main weapon in this game, a slot receiver. So,
Deion Lewis, main weapon in this game.
I understand, but look, Pittsburgh's problem is their secondary. It's not their front seven. Since week 11, they've led the NFL in sacks. So that linebacking core, and look, Ryan Shazier, he's got that kind of speed where he could run down a Deion Lewis. So, it's going to be about matchups. And look, Dante Hightower, he's going to play a big role with Le'Veon Bell, coming down the field because, he's pretty much a straight-ahead kind of guy. So, look, I said it. Le'Veon Bell rushes for over 100. Antonio Brown catches for over 100. Ben throws for over 3. And they win 30-21.
You're going with the Steelers to win
I'd love to see
30-21.
that. I would love
Well,
to see
Frank, you're not the only one in this building picking Pittsburgh to win today. Let's make it perfectly understandable. Listen, for all the accolades that I give Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots, y'all know me. I'm going to roll with the underdog on this one. I know you're going into hostile territory. I understand you're playing probably the greatest quarterback who has ever played the game today, or at least one of. But this is Ben Roethlisberger we're talking about. This ain't Alex Smith. This ain't Ryan Fitzpatrick. This ain't Brock Osweiler. This is Big Ben Roethlisberger, a man who knows how to play. not only play, but he knows how to win. He's got 2 hardwares to prove it. So I'm rolling with the Steelers to upset the Patriots today. But I think it's going to be a bigger blowout. Not a blowout, but I think it's going to be a bigger margin than what the 4 of you were saying.
Eric, you can definitely be a politician because you flip-flop all the time. You've been saying all year long the New England Patriots are going to go win the Super Bowl and hoist that trophy up.
I did. You're right.
Here's what
Let me ask you a question. What's made you flip and flop?
Because from what I've seen, if you can beat Kansas City, and granted, it's Kansas City, but you rolled into Kansas City.
My Buccaneers rolled into Kansas City and beat them.
Kansas City on field goals. Field goals. Nobody scored a touchdown last Sunday. That was 6 field goals by the 4th B that Dwayne brought up, or you brought up, Chris Boswell. What that said to me is if they can beat a team that was slated to win, and they had the bye week, okay? So they had time to prepare for Pittsburgh. They got to see what Pittsburgh was all about when Pittsburgh faced Miami. So now you go into hostile territory, divisional round, and you win by field goals? I'm sorry. If they are at that level against Kansas City, if they are all on the same page, they are going to be lethal today against New England. It is for that reason. Plus, I want you to remember one thing when you watch this game tonight. Be careful where 92 is, because I guarantee you one thing. James Harrison will find Tom Brady. But I'm saying it's going to be a bigger margin. I'm saying 31-21, Steelers upset the New England Patriots.
Here's what has to happen. Big Ben needs to pull his head out of his ass because the last few games, he's thrown 8 interceptions when he's on the road. He's got like 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That's not good.
I agree.
He's got to play smarter with the ball. And look, Todd Haley's got to get a little more creative here. You need to move Le'Veon Bell out in the slot and open the field up for Jesse James and Ladarius Green if he's able to go.
Listen.
So they're going to have to do some things. But look, it's going to be somebody like Darius Hayward-Bay who's going to have to step up, who can't really catch that good, but he's super fast. So
I expect your tight end, Jesse James, to be the difference maker in this game for the offensive side for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right, and if Big Ben can spread the ball around, I think that's a key. I
And
think,
he will.
Frank alluded to it. I think that's the key for Pittsburgh winning, but I still take New England.
Did you
That's
say
fine.
31 Pittsburgh?
I said
31.
31.
Do you know what New
21.
England's allowing? 15 points a game. New England's allowing.
I know.
Pittsburgh didn't score a touchdown, and you're saying they went into Kansas City and played at what level? Level that they
Chris-
didn't even score a
Well,
touchdown.
Chris
when you play
Boswell's
the
gonna be doing a
Browns
lot
and
of
the
kicking
Bills
today.
and the Jets every
Hey,
week.
leave the
I mean,
Browns
it's
out
kinda
of
hard
this, all right?
Hey,
it's
guys,
kind of hard
great
to pad
stuff.
those stats.
Great stuff to start the show. Let's take a real quick break. When we come back, I do want to talk a little coaching carousel in the NFL, changes that were made. Folks, thank y'all for chiming in and being with us here at Old School today for the Conference Championship weekend. This is Whole Nother Level. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Whole Nother Level right here at Old School 1991. Beautiful downtown Sarasota right next to the Hollywood 20. This is Whole Nother Level. You got your man Eric here, and I am joined by Frank, Kristen, Dwayne, and the great L. Bushman. All right, so before we get to this, we're going to give some of our Packer fans a little more time to come in here. Let's talk a little coaching carousel here in the NFL, because pretty much the only slot left open is the San Francisco 49ers, and rumors are pretty much reported that Mr. Kyle Shanahan from the Atlanta Falcons is going to be the one to take over that job. So let me ask this question to you, Frank. Kyle Shanahan,
Yep.
good fit for San Francisco? I know anybody would be a good fit, but do you think he can turn the page and get this team back to being relevant?
Well, not right away. I mean,
Okay.
nobody's going to win with that roster and that team and the dysfunction. I mean, look, does he have a good track record as an offensive coordinator? Yes. Everywhere he's been, he's had one of the top offenses in the league.
Okay.
Going back to the Texans, the Redskins, I can't really blame him for that year at the Browns because, well, it was the Browns.
It's the Browns.
So, but I mean, in Atlanta, so I mean, he knows offensive football, but we also know that every good coordinator doesn't make a good head coach. But he grew up in San Francisco. I mean, his dad was a coach there, back in the day. So, he's got history there. As long as they give him more than a year.
It's kind of a coming home, so to speak.
Well, if they give him more than a year and at least let him, try and build something, he might have a shot. But they need talent. They need a GM too.
Speaking of talent, so, Kristen, Kyle Shanahan comes in. He takes over as the head coach of the 49ers. I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks. You got to choose one. Does he go after Jimmy Garoppolo, or does he go after someone who he previously worked with in Kirk Cousins?
He goes for Kirk Cousins. They have a great relationship. Kirk Cousins called him the most detail-oriented guy he knows. I've been saying it all season. I love Kyle Shanahan. I'm so high on Kyle Shanahan right now with what he's doing in Atlanta.
So would you take Kyle Shanahan over Hugh Jackson?
Right now, yeah. I mean, we won 1 game under Hugh Jackson, so. But I'm not trying to get rid of our coach yet.
Okay,
Well,
I'm saying you said you're sold on him, so I had to
am
ask.
sold on him, and San Francisco took the time to make this decision because they want it to be a long-term coach. They said they're not going to get rid of him after 1 year like they just did with Chip Kelly. So, I think he's going to do a good job there. It is going to take some time to build it up, but. He's been in the league, a coordinator for 9 years, and he's a young guy, so he can relate to some of these players. But, yeah, I think Kirk Cousins will be a great fit there. It's just a matter of if he's going to leave Washington or not.
All right. So then let me ask you, Dwayne. Jed York is the owner, and I won't go into how we all feel about this guy. But
We know how you feel.
you have to get a general manager in here. So give me the name of somebody who you think could come in and collaborate with Kyle Shanahan, and again, make San Francisco back to where they once were.
Look, I mean, there's probably a few names, but I mean, nothing that scrapes the top of my head. But the fact is, I think Frank mentioned it, and Craig mentioned it last week. Obviously, you have to start with a GM, but a coach, possibly Shanahan. But you're gonna need these players. You're gonna have to start from the ground up with these players. San Francisco just needs to work from the ground up. But in terms of a general manager, no one even comes to mind, really. I mean, who are you gonna get? I don't know.
All the good GM candidates have been pulling out. I mean, Elliott Wolf with Green Bay, he withdrew his name from consideration, and the fact that they're going to bring in the coach before a GM just further goes to show that they don't know what they're doing.
I think they want Shanahan to be able to pick out his GM, who he's going to work with, which is kind of backwards. But the names, I don't know their names, but I know they were talking about Arizona's GM and Minnesota's GM are the top 2 guys right now. I mean, neither of them, Arizona maybe, but neither of them have really done that impressive of a job in their respective teams. So it's going to be interesting.
Right. You would think the normal order of things is York picking out his GM, but, at this point, Shanahan would probably have a better observation of who would take the team to the next level.
Well, he's going to have more power then.
Right. Who knows? Yeah, more than likely.
You guys are saying Kyle Shanahan's going to have more power than the general manager?
Well, if they bring him in first.
Okay.
Now, these are all hypothetical situations because he hasn't even accepted the job yet, correct?
Correct.
That's the worst kept secret right now in the NFL. I mean, that's.
You can even pull out Kyle's dad, Mike. You can even put Mike Shanahan as a GM, too. You could bring him in. I mean, Mike's been a successful coach in the NFL despite those few rest of the years he had in Washington. But, San Francisco is one of those storied NFL franchises throughout the whole league, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like the New England Patriots. So this is an enticing job, but I think the owners, the Yorks, have to let him work and do his magic if he takes the job. I mean, you can't just fire a coach after 1 or 2 seasons just because you're in the dumpster once again. Kyle Shanahan's an intriguing guy. He's a great coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, so he's going to attract guys to come to San Francisco. So if he's allowed to do what he wants, he can build that franchise back to where it could have been when, back in the day with Joe Montana and Steve Young. I mean, hell, when they had Jim Harbaugh there, they were unstoppable. So the Yorks have to let their coach do what they need to do best. And if they bring in a GM, whoever it's going to be, they got to let them do their job well as well.
No, I agree, and that was my whole point. I mean, this is a historic franchise. So many quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, have come through this rank. And granted, up until what this, excuse my expression, ass clown did this year, Colin Kaepernick was at one time a great quarterback. I mean, he made it to the Super Bowl. But again, that speaks to the coaching of Jim Harbaugh. Since then, we've seen what has happened, and he has let his off the field basically ruin his career, so it's on him. But I agree with you. I think the York family, and more importantly, Jed York, needs to simply allow Kyle Shanahan, if he does in fact take this job, they need to let him come in and build this team. Because if they don't, they're going to continually be a 3-4 win team, and we're going to be asking the question, when?
If only owners can fire themselves.
That will never happen.
I'm not going to answer that. Next question. All right, so I know we touched on it, but you know what? There was something that we didn't discuss when we were talking about Pittsburgh and New England, so I want to go back to it for just a second. Let me ask you guys a question. And, lady, Kristen, I'm sorry. I'm just throwing you in with the guys.
I can be a guy. It's all right. I roll with the guys.
Okay.
There's
Pittsburgh
operations for that now.
Pittsburgh is rolling into New England. And we all know that not a lot of teams can be successful in New England. But the one point I forgot to make to you, Great L. Bushman, when you asked me why I switched, I really think that we haven't seen the best of Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger, and I really think we're going to see it today. Granted, hindsight, Captain Obvious, call it whatever you want to call me. Yes, I know they need to be great, but I think today they're going to be. So my question to y'all is, if in fact Pittsburgh upsets New England, where does this put Tom Brady's legacy?
It's not tarnished.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, he's still going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever played the game. So, and plus, he still has 2 to 3, maybe 4 years left in the tank. So, I mean, his legacy is no by any means tarnished at all if they don't go to the Super Bowl.
But realize that being in the Super Bowl, if he doesn't make it today, that's one thing. But let's say he goes to the Super Bowl and then loses. Does that have a bigger impact? Because then he would be what? He would be 4-3 in Super Bowls? That would be his record?
Still not tarnished at all.
No, I'm sorry. 4-5.
Still not tarnished at all because, like I said before, he's got a lot left in the tank. So, them to go, if they do happen to not go to the Super Bowl this year, and if they do and if they lose, they're still next year where they could always go back. So his legacy is not going to be tarnished at all.
And, the fact that he has 4 rings, that in and of itself makes him a legend. I mean, he has 4 Super Bowl rings. I mean, you can't take that away.
Well,
So,
9 Super Bowls. If he goes 4-5, he went to 9 Super Bowls. That means he was AFC champions 9 times. Even if he lost 5 of them, 9 Super Bowls. That's insane. Absolutely insane.
John Elway lost his first 3 Super Bowls. When you say John Elway's name, what's the first thing people think of?
I say greatest quarterback, yes.
Hall of Famer.
The
All
drive.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I just had to ask the question. All right, well, let's get to the other game. The main reason why most of the people are here at Old School, 1991 Main Street, beautiful downtown Sarasota. It is the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons, who are hosting that bad man Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And Jordy Nelson is expected to play. So let me hear from the 4 of you. Atlanta, Green Bay. Great L. Bushman, what you got?
This is a matchup I think we all wanted to see. It's definitely going to be a shootout between these two teams. The one intriguing matchup I have is Ryan Balaluga against Vic Beasley for protection for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in the last 9 games. He is a bad man. And going into the Georgia Dome, I see more of the same like he did last week. I want the Packers to win, and I think we all on the show want the Packers to win, hopefully, so we can get this place packed to the brim full of people for the Super Bowl. But, they've had a lot of injuries on wide receiver. Yes, Jordy Nelson's going to be coming back. Devontae Adams is going to be there. Randall Cobb. Geronimo, of course, our boy Geronimo is going to be there as well. But one of the X factors who's actually kind of been a surprise in the playoff is Jared Cook. That fantastic catch last week. So, and hopefully they get Ty Montgomery back. I know he's been hurt a little bit with a knee injury from last week as well. But, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to win, even though this will be a shootout between the two teams. But I think the Green Bay defense is going to be running around with like a bunch of chickens with their head cuts off because a lot of the weapons that Matt Ryan has with Mohamed Sanu, Taylor Gabriel, and also Devontae Freeman.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers in the divisional round win over Dallas, do you know what his QBR was? 122.7. 122.7. That's just unheard of when it comes to QBRs in the playoffs. This isn't a regular season game where you're playing against either a divisional opponent or someone who you just know you're going to blow out the water. I mean, over his last 8 games, Rodgers has a 70% completion rating and an average. This is his average, 8.4 yards per attempt. He's finding guys like Jared Cook. He's finding Ty Montgomery. Jordy Nelson is coming back. Geronimo, all the guys you spoke of, Devontae Adams. This guy has continually, as the playoffs have rolled on, he has gotten better. But I take nothing away from Atlanta because for all the talk that I had said about them, I finally had to admit they look legit. So, Kristen, I'm going to ask you, what do you see in Atlanta today that gives them the opportunity to do what I think truly only Atlanta fans think they're going to be able to do, and that's beat a red-hot Aaron Rodgers?
Vegas thinks they're going to be able to do it, too. The line moved from 4 to 6 later this week.
Wow.
I can't believe Atlanta's favored by 6. It's shocking to me. Atlanta has a good young defense. They have these 3 rookies on defense, and Neal and Jones and Campbell. They're playing great with Vic Beasley. It's going to be all about pressuring Aaron Rodgers. When he is in the blitz and he's forced to throw quick, his QBR is 70.6. So he finds ways to extend plays, and it's hard to cover these guys when he's extending the plays 6-7 seconds. You can't stay on your man. But Atlanta's got Vic Beasley, who's going to put pressure on him, and it's going to be tough. And Jordy Nelson is back with 2 broken ribs and playing in a Kevlar vest. I don't know if anyone out here has broken a rib.
Listen, you get him enough cortisone shots and wrap him up with some duct tape, I think he'll be all right.
He won't feel anything today.
No, of course not.
I don't know. They're so banged up, and I really want to see the Packers win this game, and I think it's going to come down to which quarterback gets pressured more. Aaron Rodgers is way more athletic, way more of a just wow you quarterback, where Matt Ryan has the fundamentals. He's like a very programmed quarterback. He makes quick throws. They're good throws. He's got a lot of weapons. But it's going to come down to which quarterback is pressured more, and I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last. I think it's going to be a close game.
Kristen, you spoke of defenses, so Frank, talk to me about that. On one side, you got Vic Beasley, who we know is able to, get to Aaron Rodgers. But on the flip side, you've got Clay Matthews, who is starting to be that Clay Matthews that we know. So speak to me about these 2 defenses.
Is he back from his broken ankles from last week against Ezekiel Elliott when he broke his ankles?
I think he is. He's got enough shots in there.
Okay.
Look, I mean, the pressure today is going to be on that Green Bay secondary, which has been banged up for most of the year. And look, my big matchup is going to be the Green Bay defensive line. Daniels against Alex Mack, the center for Atlanta, who, I mean, a lot of people consider one of the best in the league. So getting pressure on Matt Ryan is going to be key for Green Bay. Dom Capers is going to have to be creative, but that's what he does. I mean, Blitzburg, those schemes that he brought from there. So those are the things that I want to see. And look, Ty Montgomery didn't play when they played earlier this year. So that's going to be one. Coleman didn't play for Atlanta. So, you could look back at that. And Atlanta still only won that game by 1 point, I believe. So these 2 teams are different than they were at that point. So you can't really go by that. But look, take the over on the over-under for this game because, look, defense is not huge for either of these teams. But whichever defense plays a little better, because both the offenses are going to do their thing and put up numbers and points.
Let me ask all of you guys a question. I know it's kind of premature to talk about the MVP talk, but between Matt Ryan, I think Aaron Rodgers are the 2 guys for MVP. Who do you think out of the 2 could maybe take the MVP candidate, maybe MVP award for the whole league?
I would have to say Matt Ryan. I mean, look, 5-game winning streak, 14 touchdowns in the last 5 games, 0 interceptions. Atlanta's on a roll. Obviously, everyone on this panel mentioned no defense. Defense is lacking on both teams.
Did Dwayne just say Matt Ryan, who has a 5-game winning streak? That's what you said?
He did.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers has an 8-game winning streak and has rolled into teams such as your New York Football Giants and then rolled into Dallas. This guy's been a road warrior.
Yeah, I did.
I did, because you're talking about 5 wins for Atlanta, who had a bye week. Now you want to talk about MVP. There is no question. Right now, it's Aaron Rodgers.
There is a question. It's
Aaron
not no question.
Rodgers is the MVP of the league this year. No, go ahead, Kristen.
I'm going to have to beg to differ.
I think I opened up Pandora's box with this question. That's a good thing.
Open up a couple other boxes, too.
Matt Ryan has been the most complete quarterback the entire season, highest QBR from beginning to end of the season. Aaron Rodgers did step it up after whatever week that was that he gave the talk saying they were going to win out. But Matt Ryan all season long has just been completions. 13 different guys have had touchdowns, which is an NFL record. Aaron Rodgers is good. Matt Ryan's the MVP.
Yeah, but Kristen, to take a team who was 4-6 halfway through the season, who we all thought the Packers are done, to take them where they're at right now, I mean, come on. He is a bad man. I think he deserves a shot.
All right, Frank, you're the deciding factor, my brother. You got 2 up here for Matt Ryan and 2 for that bad man. That is Aaron Rodgers. Who you got for MVP, Frank?
I'm rolling with Ryan. Yes. Look, if you look at his numbers, they're better. I mean, even counting the winning streak, just look at it from a numbers standpoint. Matt Ryan has been consistent all year long.
Good.
The
Thanks.
one thing that he hasn't been in years past. Okay. All right. Well, with that said, let's get to it. I need to know who wins this game. I need to know why, and I need to know a score. Ladies first. Kristen, who you got?
This has been so tough for me. I don't know. I've been going back and forth with it all morning. You did mention the over-under, which is 60 points, the highest of any NFL playoff game ever. I think it's going to go over the 60 points. We're in a Packer bar. I want to see the Packers win. It's going to be close, 38-34 Packers.
You got the Packers. Give me your score again.
38-34.
Wow, 72-point game. All right. Dwayne, who you got in this game?
Well, as long as I don't get beat up on the way out of here, you obviously know who I'm picking for this game.
Are you leaving so soon?
Don't forget
Well,
your
yeah,
keys
you know,
this time.
I have faith in Matt Ryan. I mean, I think Matt Ryan has done a great job this season. Aaron Rodgers obviously done a great job, but he's had his ups and downs. I'm going to have to take Atlanta 35-30
Wow.
over
Everyone,
Atlanta.
this is
Green Bay.
Dwayne Lindo. Dwayne Lindo, everyone. Dwayne
Yes.
Lindo.
Frank, who you got in this game?
Look, look, it's good. Green Bay finally figured out how to use Ty Montgomery and at least got him moved into his proper position. So that gives them a better weapon. I am concerned about their wide receiving core because, I mean, they promoted Max McCaffrey off the practice squad.
Today.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally today.
That's not a good sign. But that being said, if they get Jordy Nelson and they can get even a little bit out of him, Aaron Rodgers is what makes that offense go. I think they'll get enough out of their defense. I got it 42-35, Green Bay.
Wow.
Whoa, 77-point game, huh?
I said take the over.
Take the over. That would set a record. That would set an NFL record for most points in an NFL postseason game. All right, Great L. Bushman, who you got?
You know, I've been saying this probably since last week, but, you know, since we saw the bad man go into Jerry World and beat those Cowboys, go Pack, go all day. It is going to be a huge shootout today between these two teams. I'm not going to go as high as you guys are, but I'm going to say 34-31. Go Pack, go.
Well, Dwayne, I think.
Am I the
Craig-
lone wolf?
No, actually, hold on. I just got a message from Craig. Hold on. I know he was giving his score and his prediction for the game. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Craig, who will be joining us later for the second game.
Yes, he will be joining us. Well, of course, he's going to be here for his Patriots against the Steelers. Craig actually is joining you, Dwayne. He said 31-27, Atlanta over Green Bay.
Yeah, close to my final score, too. Obviously, all of us are going the over, it seems like.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody believes in these teams' defenses.
This won't be a defensive game whatsoever.
Listen,
Well, the 31-27 score is actually the under, but
when
I mean,
it gets
all of
right
us-
down to it, I gave Atlanta a lot of respect. And I will continually do that if they are successful today. However, here's what I do know. You're playing in an NFC Conference Championship game against a guy who right now, over his last 8 games, is 21-1 with his touchdown to interception ratio. This guy has a 117 QBR. His completion percentage is about 66 to 67%. You can have all the weapons in the world in Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman, Taylor Gabriel. You can have all the weapons in the world you want. But if you can't be the gunslinging guy that Aaron Rodgers is, I'm sorry. I think Matt Ryan is actually going to regress and go back to being the Matt Ryan we know him to be. I'm picking the Packers to win this game, and I'm saying it's going to be a lot closer. Pretty much almost the same score as the game that they played last week. I'll say 34-31, and Mason Crosby will be the winner yet again for Green Bay going to the Super Bowl. So I'm saying 34-31, go Pack go, Green Bay over Atlanta.
And there you have it.
We know Green Bay's got a good kicker. I mean, shoot,
We do. All right, well, that is going to do it for us here. We know we got 10 minutes left till the game gets started. Folks, we are going to be doing a 50-50 raffle. Proceeds are benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We're going to be doing at the halftime of this game here. So make sure you see our girl Kristen and get your tickets. They are 5, 10, and 20. Also, Super Bowl Sunday. We're putting on not only the best damn sports show in Sarasota, but we're also giving you the best pregame here at Old School. We're starting at 3 o'clock. We've got jerseys, we've got T-shirts, we've got gift cards coming from all places. Make sure you check out our website, www.hnl3.com, for all the information. So, for the great Al Bushman, our boy Dwayne Lindo, our girl Kristen, and the factual Frank, this is your man Eric. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks, and we've taken you to a whole nother level. We'll see you next time.
Gee, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.